In today's activities, our first task is to practice our tallies. Now, what are tallies? They're used to represent our counting. So a tally method is where we count in fives. We put a stroke for each number, and then the fifth one is a line that goes diagonally through. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay? This helps us count data a lot faster. So find the total of each tally amount. So if we have more than one set of tallies, we can count by fives. So 5, 10, 15, 20. And then maybe we have some remainders. We can count 21, 2, 3. So 23 in total. Okay, so in the first question, you're going to be finding the total of each tally amount. All right. In the next question, number 2, Molly is keeping a training diary where she records the laps she runs around the oval near her house. Redo this data using the tally method. So instead of recording all her data using single strokes, you're going to help her use the tally method. So making tallies in groups of 5. So you're going to record that new tally method here in these blank spaces. All right, next question, number 3. A movie theater collected data on the number of kids and adults that attended a recent movie screening. A kid's ticket is all ages up to 15, and an adult's ticket is 16 and above. So count how many kids' tickets and how many adults' tickets were sold using the tally method in this table. So these are the ages of the ticket buyers. We have somebody that's 40 years old, 12 years old, 19 years old, 42 years old. Okay, so remember, a kid's ticket is from all ages up to 15. So basically 0 to 15 years old. Okay, you would be buying a kid's ticket. An adult's ticket is anyone who is 16 and above. So anybody who's 16 to however many years old. Okay, so if a 40-year-old went to buy a ticket, would they be buying a kid's ticket or an adult ticket? They'd be buying an adult's ticket, right? How about a 12-year-old? They'd be buying a kid's ticket. Okay, so you're going to do your tallies up in this amount sold so we can figure out how many of each type of ticket they've sold. All right, question B. Why do you think that they conducted this survey? How could they use this information? What would they use this information for? Take a guess. In the next activity, we're going to be practicing our column graphs or bar charts, which is another name we can use. So column graphs or bar charts are a clear way of showing and comparing data. There is a horizontal line, so left to right, that has different categories, and a vertical line, up and down, that has numbers, also known as a scale. So there should always be a heading at the top so it's easy to see what the data is about. So let's review. There's a horizontal line that has different categories. So that's this line here, our x-axis. So we have January, February, March, all the way to December, right? And we know that these are months. On the vertical line, we have numbers on a scale. So that's our y-axis, our number of children. So this scale is going up by 5s, 5, 10, 15, 20, 25. All right, so let's answer a few questions using the bar chart that we've been given. So A, how many birthdays are there in the first 3 months of the year? So we're looking at January, February, and March. Okay. In B, how many kids were born in May, June, or July? So we're looking at May, June, and July. So it asks us in May, June, or July. That means we want the total amount of kids that were born in May, June, and July. Okay, in C, September has 10 more birthdays than which month? So if we look at September and we look at the scale, it tells us that we have 25 kids, right? Okay, so it has 10 more birthdays than which month? So we need to subtract 10 from 25 and then see which month has that number. Number 2, sometimes column graphs go vertically. That means instead of up and down, they go side to side. Okay, so This time, the horizontal line has the scale and the vertical line has the categories. So our categories are now on the y-axis and our scale is on the x-axis. Okay, this graph shows us how many of each sweet treat was brought in for the school fair. So notice how the scale goes by twos. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18, 20, 22, 24. Now, it doesn't ask you a specific question, but I'd like you to write something that this graph shows you. If you read this graph, what information could you get from it? Okay, lastly for today, we're going to look at the data that we've been given, and we're going to plot the data on the graph. Okay, so Class 4's favorite ice cream flavors have been noted in this chart. So we have the flavors vanilla, strawberry, chocolate, mint, toffee, and caramel. We also know the number of children that chose each of these ice cream flavors. So 7 children chose vanilla, 6 children chose strawberry, 5 children chose chocolate, 8 children chose mint, and so on and so forth. Okay, so here are some tips. Remember to give your bar chart a title, which will go up here, and to label the axis. Okay, so this is our x-axis, this is our y-axis, and what are we labeling them? So here we're going to be writing our ice cream flavors: vanilla, strawberry, chocolate, mint, toffee, caramel. So what should we call these categories? What's the title for the x-axis? Now you're going to figure out the scale you're going to use for your bar chart. Are you going to go up in ones? Are you going to go up by twos? What are you going to go up by? Okay, take a look at your numbers and see how many you can fit in here, or how many you need to count by in order to create a proper scale. Okay, and then lastly, you're going to label your y-axis. So remember, this is the number of children are being represented on the scale. So what should this label be? Okay, so after you've done that, you need to plot this data. So we have, let's do the first one here. We've plotted vanilla. We have 7 children in vanilla, right? So if your scale went up by 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. If I have 7 children that chose vanilla, I'm going to draw my line at 7 there, and here's my bar, and I'm going to shade that in. So I've plotted vanilla for you. Okay, so you go ahead and plot the rest of these. Okay, if you have any questions, you can find us on Seesaw.